Hello everyone. Today we're going to be reviewing Capcom Fighting Collection 2, the latest collection of retro games from the legendary Capcom. Before I get started, I'd like to give a massive shout out to Capcom for providing me with a code for Capcom Fighting Collection 2. You are absolute legends and you have my eternal gratitude. If you haven't done already, please remember to hit the subscribe button and also like this video, as it helps me out massively. Also, please feel free to leave comments and talk to me about what you think of Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Right, let's get into it. The first Capcom Fighting Collection brought back a lot of the Marvel vs. Capcom classics, but there was some games that people were still hungering for. For me personally, a lot of the hunger was satiated with the release of Capcom Fighting Collection 2, in which we got some absolute bangers. Capcom vs SNK, Capcom vs SNK 2, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone, Power Stone 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein. These ports are of course the arcade versions and not the home console version, which you may be used to, so that is something to bear in mind, but not really important when considering these collections. I'm a massive fan of Project Justice, so naturally it was my go-to game upon first booting up the collection. Of course, it was as good as I remember immediately picking the baseball bat wielding Shoma in an arcade run, where I was reminded how quirky the story was. Brilliant stuff. I feel Project Justice has aged really well. It was easy to pick up again, and as per all the games in this collection, there is a training mode so you can learn all the basics, and a marquee card which can be viewed at any time offline, giving you all the basic information you need. Jumping into Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein was a fascinating experience. I'd never played it before, and it's a different beast when compared to Capcom's other fighters. Moment-to-moment gameplay takes place on a 2D plane, but you can still sidestep and evade attacks like you can in Tekken. What makes it really interesting is its power-up system, where certain characters gain ludicrous enhancements to turn the tide of battle, such as Kaidi, which basically gets to play whack-a-mole with her opponent. It's probably the ropiest looking out of the lot, but it still felt smooth to play and was very responsive. Both Power Stone 1 and 2 are just as fun and addictive as I remember on the Dreamcast. I never actually played the arcade versions of these, so the fact that the little extras from the Dreamcast version were missing did give me a little bit of sadness, but still, what a pair of games. 2 was probably my most anticipated game in the collection, meaning I now had the chance to play online with 3 other people. I can see this being an absolute time vampire. On to the 2D fighting games now, with Capcom Fighting Evolution leading the charge. It's probably the weakest out of the included games, but for preservation purposes it's nice to see it included, with the mechanics for each included character being based on the franchise they came from. The game can feel a little unbalanced sometimes, which is a shame. CVS 1 and CVS 2, however, are of course absolute dreams to play, pitting Street Fighter fan faves against SNK legends, even including the ability to select secret bosses, which is always nice. Finally, you have Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper in this collection. This version includes the characters that were in the home port, which is very nice. But I can't help feeling that it would have been slightly better to emulate the Max version, which had an additional 4 characters. Otherwise, Alpha 3 continues to be one of the best Street Fighters in history, and I'm so glad it's included here. All the games have access to visual enhancements, from changing the filter so you can have that classic look, to changing internal resolution to make the 3D backgrounds look that much crisper. With these games being all about the nostalgia, it's easy to see why you would want to have that old school style look. You can select versus modes and training modes straight from the main menu, which is great, quick save at any point, remap your controls to your heart's content, and select between Western and Japanese versions of each game. On top of this, there's a metric ton of artwork to unlock, which tops off the collection quite nicely. Oh, and there's rollback netcode for online play. Who doesn't like rollback netcode? It would have been nice to have the OG Rival Schools and Star Gladiator included, but despite that, this is still one damn fine collection. Game preservation is important, and having all these games available to play in 2025 at the touch of a button is a dream come true. So, should you buy it? Yes, of course you should. Well, thank you to everyone for watching my review on Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I'd really like to know what you think of this video and the game as and when you get a chance to play it. As always, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my Patreons for your support. You are all absolutely amazing. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And if you like what you watched today, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also like this video. As always, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's been watching Deep Dives, everyone that's subbed to the channel, and also a big thank you for all your support, comments and general feedback. You are all fantastic. Please keep the comments and feedback coming. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm up to, please follow me on Twitter at DonPedroX for regular updates on upcoming videos and other thoughts from my brain. If you like what I do and fancy supporting me, I have a Patreon. I'd like to do these videos more often, so any support you can give would be amazing. Right, see you next time.